Imagine starting a new life, leaving the past behind, and surrendering to a love that seems perfect. Until a dark secret begins to unfold. This is the story of Hannah, who, after losing her mother, moves to the small town of Ashville. There she meets Jake, a charming young man with a smile that lights up any room. But behind that smile, Jake holds a secret so dark that it could change everything between them. What is he hiding? Will Hannah be able to overcome the ghosts of Jake's past and give him her heart? Or is his secret too big to be forgiven? Get ready for a journey full of mystery, love, and choices that could destroy everything they hold dear. What is Jake willing to lose to keep this secret? Don't miss this tale of second chances, regrets, and the true meaning of love. Hannah never imagined that a small town could feel so full of promises, yet also so filled with pain. After the loss of her mother, she decided to move to Ashville, a peaceful town nestled in the North Carolina mountains, in search of a fresh start. She rented a modest house on Briarwood Street, a tree-lined road that seemed designed for new beginnings. The surrounding houses were simple yet well-maintained, with colorful gardens and welcoming porches. Hannah still carried the ache of her loss, and as calm as Ashville was, she felt distant, alone, as if the town couldn't fill the emptiness her mother had left behind. As she walked through the peaceful streets, watching the locals chatting on the sidewalks, she wondered if she would ever truly fit in, if she could make friends or perhaps even find a new love. It was during one of these walks that she saw him for the first time. Jake, a young man with light brown hair and intense eyes, was sitting on the steps of his house, with an easy smile and a calm gaze. He seemed completely at ease in his own space, as if nothing could disturb him. Hannah felt an instant curiosity, but also a sense that Jake was hiding something. He greeted her with a nod as she passed by, and for the first time since she arrived, she felt something more than the pain of loss. Jake had an energy, a quiet strength that drew her in, and the smile he gave her seemed to say more than words could express. But at the same time, something about him wasn't fully open, as if he was holding on to a secret, something she couldn't yet identify. In the days that followed, Hannah began frequenting the Blue Ridge Cafe, the local meeting spot. It was a small, cozy place, with weathered wooden furniture, family photos hanging on the walls, and a coffee machine that filled the air with an irresistible aroma. She usually sat at the table by the window, watching the town go by while sipping her coffee. It was there that she ran into Jake again. He walked into the cafe looking as comfortable as ever. He approached Hannah with a soft smile. "The coffee here is amazing. Have you tried it yet?" he asked, his tone friendly and casual. "I'm Jake, by the way. Just so you know who to call if you ever need a local guide." Hannah smiled, surprised by Jake's direct yet charming approach. "I'm Hannah. And no, I haven't tried the coffee yet, but I guess it's time." The conversation flowed naturally, and soon they were talking about Asheville and their lives. Jake made her laugh more than once with funny stories about the locals and the quirks of the town. He was full of energy and seemed genuinely passionate about everything around him. Yet, despite his constant smile and easy charm, there was still something about him that made her hesitate. He dodged certain questions, and the moments when his eyes grew dark didn't go unnoticed by Hannah. But at that moment, she didn't want to think about what he might be hiding. She allowed herself to enjoy his company, a new and refreshing feeling, as if she were finally beginning to loosen up after so much pain. Hannah and Jake's encounters became more frequent. They started seeing each other regularly, walking through Asheville's surroundings or stopping at cafes. Hannah felt there was something special between them, but she also sensed that Jake wasn't fully open. When she invited him for a drive along Highway 76, a quiet and picturesque road cutting through the nearby mountains, he looked at her with a serious expression, as if the invitation made him uneasy. During the drive, their conversation grew deeper. Jake finally opened up about his past. He told her he had made a serious mistake when he was younger, a mistake that hurt many people, and that he had been carrying the weight of it ever since. "I'm not the man you think I am, Hannah," he said, looking at her with a seriousness that made her chest tighten. "I did something that changed my life and the lives of others forever. I pulled away from everything and everyone because I didn't know how to deal with it anymore." Hannah listened carefully, her heart tightening, but also wondering whether she could trust someone with such a heavy past. "You don't have to tell me everything, Jake. Not if you're not ready. But if I'm going to trust you, I need to know what stands in the way of me being happy by your side," she replied sincerely. He looked at her, eyes filled with pain and regret. "What I did in the past might push you away, and I understand that. I don't deserve for you to stay." Those words weighed heavily on Hannah's heart. She knew everyone had secrets, but she didn't know just how much Jake's secret would affect her. From that moment on, she found herself torn between trusting what they could become and fearing what he might truly be hiding. After Jake's confession, Hannah felt overwhelmed by a wave of conflicting emotions. She was in love with him, but the weight of what he had revealed made her question whether she should walk away. Jake seemed sincere, yet the fear that he might hurt her, or that she wouldn't be strong enough to handle his past, consumed her. She began avoiding him, telling herself she needed space to think, but her distance only intensified the longing she felt for him. When he called, Hannah knew she could no longer run from the feelings she had for him. They met at Ashville Park, a quiet place surrounded by tall trees. "I know you need time, but I don't want you to see me as someone who carries only the burden of a mistake," Jake said, looking straight at her with a vulnerability she had never seen in him before. "I'm more than that. I want you to see me as who I am now, not for what I did in the past." Hannah, her heart tightening, tried to understand what was happening inside her. She wanted him, but the fear of getting hurt again was too strong. She stood on the edge of a crucial decision: follow what she felt or walk away forever from a love that might never be possible. After their revealing conversation in Ashville Park, Hannah and Jake spent some time apart. Hannah was confused, her feelings for him still strong, but the weight of Jake's revelation made her hesitate. She knew that the only way to move forward was to understand what she truly felt and whether she was ready to accept Jake's past. She met with Megan, her friend who lived in Charlotte, to vent. "I want to believe him," Hannah said, stirring the tea in her hands. "But what he told me, it feels like something I'll never be able to overcome." Megan looked at her as if she understood her deeply. "Trust has to be built, Hannah. And forgiveness is a choice. It's not about what he did, but about what you're willing to forgive. Love isn't perfect, and everyone has something they wish they could erase, even if it's something that defines them." Hannah thought about Megan's words for the rest of the day. She knew it would be easier to walk away from Jake and go on with her life. But as hard as it was, she couldn't deny the connection she felt with him. Jake would never be perfect, but maybe he was exactly the kind of imperfect love she needed. She decided to look for him, and at that moment, she knew she had to make a choice: accept him with his past or let him go once and for all. The following weekend, Jake and Hannah met again, but this time in a place that held deep meaning for him: Lake Martin, a quiet area where he often went to clear his mind. The lake was surrounded by a dense forest, and its still waters reflected the cloudy sky, creating an introspective atmosphere. Jake was waiting for her at the water's edge, staring at the horizon. When he saw her approaching, his smile softened, though his eyes were heavy with emotion. "I know you're scared," he said, breaking the silence between them. "I am too. But I'm here because I want to be honest with you, and more importantly, I want you to see who I am now." Hannah walked toward him, feeling the weight of the moment. She knew the decision she made there would echo for the rest of her life. She took a deep breath and said, "I need to know if you regret what you did, Jake, or if it's something you intend to carry for the rest of your life." Jake looked at her, his eyes shining with sincerity. "I regret it deeply," he replied. And no matter how hard I try to hide it, what happened will always be part of who I am. But I don't want that to define my life, or ours. If you give me a chance, I promise I will spend every day trying to be worthy of you. Hannah held his gaze for a long moment, and for the first time, she felt a sense of peace. She didn't know what the future would bring, but she knew that to move forward, she had to make the choice to step ahead. I accept you, Jake, she said, her voice firm but gentle. But I can't promise it will be easy. I have my fears too. But if you're willing to walk beside me, I'll try. Jake smiled, the weight of weeks of uncertainty finally lifting. He stepped closer and without another word, wrapped his arms around her, feeling that words were no longer necessary. Their journey together was only beginning, but now they were ready to face it hand in hand. With time, Hannah and Jake's relationship grew stronger, but rebuilding trust was not something that happened overnight. Though their love was undeniable, the scars of Jake's past and Hannah's fears still lingered, like shadows following their every step. They began spending more time together, and each day Jake showed Hannah that his remorse was real. He started participating actively in community activities around Ashville, helping people and trying to be a positive influence. His way of seeking redemption not just for himself, but for everyone around him. Hannah, in turn, started trusting him more. She was no longer the woman who had arrived in Ashville, lost and skeptical. She began to understand that Jake's imperfections did not define him. They were simply a part of his journey, not the end of it. As time passed, their conversations became deeper and filled with understanding. Each brought their life lessons into the relationship, and together, they rebuilt themselves, learning to forgive and to trust again. When everything seemed to be falling into place, the truth about Jake's past resurfaced. Someone from his former life showed up in Asheville, bringing back painful memories and reigniting Hannah's fears. She began to doubt again. What if Jake hadn't truly changed? What if he was still hiding something from his past? Jake noticed the shift in Hannah and knew that the only way to prove his love was to confront, once and for all, the scars he still carried. He invited her for one last conversation, where he promised to be completely transparent about everything that still haunted her. I don't have any secrets left, Hannah. What happened in the past, the mistakes I made, I carry all of that with me every single day, he said, his voice steady as he looked into her eyes. But what I have now and what I'll never let go of, is you. If you choose to trust me, I'll do everything I can to show you that we're stronger together. Hannah looked at him, and for the first time, she no longer saw the mistake of the past. She saw the man she loved. She knew the decision she made now would be defining. But she also understood that if she wanted to truly live, she needed to release the fear. I trust you, Jake, she said, with a sincerity that came from the deepest part of her heart. And above all, I choose to love you, with all your imperfections. After months of ups and downs, Hannah and Jake finally reached an emotional stability that had seemed impossible at the beginning of their journey. They had opened themselves completely to each other, and even with the traumas and fears rooted in Jake's past, their love was renewing itself in ways they never imagined possible. The period of distance and mistrust was now behind them, and with a bond stronger than ever, the two were determined to build a future together. Ashville became more than just a town to Hannah. It now felt like home, surrounded not only by the friends she had made, but also by Jake's love, something she never imagined she would experience so deeply. Jake, in turn, knew he couldn't erase the marks of his past, but he also understood he had the chance to rewrite his story, this time beside someone who accepted him as he was, with all his mistakes and regrets. He started to get even more involved with the local community, looking for ways to give back everything he felt he had taken away with the error he made years ago. He volunteered at the community center, helping with new projects and organizing events for the residents. Hannah joined him, and together, they began to feel they were building a new support network, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. They also began to travel more together, something Hannah had always dreamed of but never had the courage to do before. They visited small towns, explored tourist spots around Ashville, and in every new place, they found themselves more connected, more in love, and more certain that they needed nothing more than each other's company to be happy. Jake, who once carried the weight of his past like a shadow, now felt lighter, and that change was reflected in his smile. The same smile Hannah knew so well, and which now made her feel safer and more complete. Hannah, on the other hand, learned to see the world differently. She no longer lived in fear that something bad would happen or that Jake's past scars would come back to haunt them. She allowed herself to live in the present, valuing every moment with Jake and understanding that their love didn't need to be perfect to be real. On the contrary, it grew more genuine and stronger because they had both worked to heal their wounds and move forward without lies or secrets. When they were together, they could talk about everything and about nothing. They laughed, they understood each other without words, and even in silent moments, the truth between them was unmistakable. There was immense love, a trust that had been built, and a bright future ahead. After years of ups and downs, Hannah and Jake were finally living the kind of life they had always dreamed of, one that once felt impossible. The peace they had long searched for had finally settled in, though not without effort. They knew their journey would never be easy, but over time, they learned to fully accept each other. Flaws, mistakes, and imperfections included. The new chapter of their lives began with the love they had built together, and the idea of a future with Jake had never been clearer to Hannah. They were finally creating the life they had always wanted, a home filled with laughter, support, and a trust that grew stronger each day. The long walks through the hills of Ashville were no longer lonely for Hannah. She no longer carried the weight of solitude, because Jake was by her side, and with every passing day, he made her feel like everything she had lived through had prepared her for this very moment. Ashville, with its calmness and charm, became the perfect backdrop for their new beginning. They were married in a simple ceremony, full of meaning. Friends from all over town attended, and Megan, her friend from Charlotte, stood beside her, smiling and supporting Hannah's decision to give herself to Jake, body and soul. The ceremony took place at Lake Martin, a location deeply important to their story, where Jake once confessed the truth and where later, both had forgiven each other and chosen to give love a second chance. As the sun set, reflecting over the still water, their love felt as natural as the cycle of day and night. With their marriage, they began planning their future together, making new dreams and designing the home they always wanted to build in the countryside near Ashville. Jake was finally free from the shadow of his past, and Hannah now saw him as the man she always believed he could be. Someone strong, loving, and capable of loving unconditionally. In the months that followed, Hannah and Jake devoted themselves to the Ashville community, helping create programs for children and organizing local events to raise funds for charity. They became pillars of the town, not just because of the help they provided, but because of the way they lived their relationship, always with honesty and love. Now, with the future within reach, Hannah knew there was no final ending to their happiness, but rather a continuous new beginning, a new chance every day. Jake and Hannah's love was the kind that blossomed through honesty, healed pain, and forgiveness. They were ready to face any obstacle, because they knew that together, nothing was impossible. Wow, what a twist, right? Hannah and Jake truly went through so much together, and Jake's secret became a real test of their love. What would you do if you were in her place? Drop your thoughts in the comments and share your opinion about this complicated, but deeply hopeful love story. If you enjoyed this journey of love, secrets, and redemption, don't forget to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. This way, you won't miss any of our emotional stories filled with twists that will touch your heart. Here on the channel, there's always something new for you. So subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss a video.